They've played a little bit better when it's been closed.
Paul Goldschmidt was outstanding last night. This is an emerging star in baseball, and you see why he's got that short, compact swing, and he used it twice to hit balls out of here last night.
And when you talk to the coaching staff of the Diamondbacks, he's one of the hardest workers. He's intense about what he does, and he's consistent about what he does to prepare for the game. Having a tremendous year right now, first in the league in on-base and slugging, the OPS, off to a fantastic start. Here's a guy, as a 9th-round pick, he actually came on in the minor leagues. He had over 300 in the minor leagues and had a couple of years where he hit 30 or more home runs. So remember that name, Paul Goldschmidt. He's a good one.
Okay, Kevin Slowey couldn't stop him last night. It's Tom Kohler's second start. What should we look for in start number 2?
I think what Tom Kohler would like to see is a little more command of all of his pitches. We talked about it in L.A. When he went 5 innings, which is his longest start in the major leagues. He's only had 2, is that he has the stuff. If he commands it, he can get hitters out consistently at this level.
Speaking of command and control, Brandon McCarthy is going, our Coventry Healthcare of Florida starting pitchers. He's going for Arizona. He has terrific command. Look at the walks, just 6 of them.
Yeah, it's amazing. He gives up a lot of hits, but he's only walked 6 guys. He's had 67 consecutive starts where he's walked 3 batters or less.
Well, Miami looking for a win tonight. And guess what? Cody Ross is back. And when we get back, we'll have a special look at Cody's contributions to Marlins Park. Coming at 24-18, Marlins looking for a win. We head out to center field. Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine. Gents.
Rich, thank you very much. Good evening again, everybody. Well, it is great to see Cody Ross back here with Arizona. Last year he was here with Boston, but he had a broken foot and didn't get a chance to play.
Yeah, one of the fan favorites here while he was in Florida. A great performer in the outfield, a clutch hitter at the plate, but just a happy guy. He always exuded that kind of childhood exuberance when he played the game, and I think the fans really appreciated that.
And he's enjoying back here. This time he gets a chance to play. We took a little walk around the park today with Cody Ross.
There's one. The other one is when I'm with the Giants, I think. Oh, right here, right here. All right. The hop, the skip. Of Mr. Loria he asked me when they were building the stadium, if he saw this picture that I had and he said, I'd really love to, blow that up and put it up inside the park, because that's what it's all about. It's all about kids having fun, and that just shows exactly what it was about. And pretty neat to have my son up there.
All right, that's little Hudson Ross, probably getting a little larger. Great baseball player in his own right, little guy. And we'll have more on that chat with Cody tomorrow in our Honda Marlins Live pregame. We'll also 9 questions with Webb, and we'll preview Ricky against the Snakes. Hey, we're trying to get out of this slump. So it's a pick to collect. Let's show who our picks are tonight. It's total bases and RBIs, and these are our picks. Niner, take us through them.
This is the picks. It's worked before in the past. Rich Waltz went with Ozuna. Tommy Hutton with Brantley. Myself, I picked Derek Dietrich. You came in late with Chris Coughlin because your original pick is on the bench, Ruggiano. And the crack staff with Polanco.
No, actually, my first pick was Dietrich. I was going lefty tonight, but Tommy also.
Way too slow in the texting there, guy.
I really
way
thought
too slow.
I thought I was there, but you were the fastest somehow.
Hey, somehow.
Somehow, some way.
You're Mr. Tweeter, too. You should be fast on that thing.
Well, I thought Ruggiano might get the start, but Coughlin gets the start, and I like the way he's been coming off the bench. So I am very confident that my man Coughlin is going to come through tonight for the Fish. We'll see. Should be fun tonight. Game 2 of the 3-game series. It is still at stake. The Marlins trying to snap a losing skid, but they'll have to do it against a very good ball club in the Arizona Diamondbacks, who have won 8 of 11. Ball game coming up next. We'll look for you on Marlins Live postgame.
Marlins baseball brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By AT&T Uverse. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-AT&T. Rethink possible. By Jesserman Auto Stop, the foolproof way to get rid of gray. And by Checkers. Feast on. Marlins Park tonight. Fish trying to slow down the Diamondbacks, who are at 24-18. And this is Kirk Gibson's lineup tonight. And the Diamondbacks tied for first with the Giants in the West. Gerardo Parra having a great year. D.D. Gregorius at short. Paul Goldschmidt, you know all about. Eric Chavez had a homer last night. We just visited with Cody Ross. Miguel Montero, very good catcher. Martin Prado, good player. A.J. Pollock in center field. And Brandon McCarthy will hit ninth.
Well, dealing with that lineup is 26-year-old right-hander Tom Kohler. making his second start this year, just his third major league start in Los Angeles. 5-3 loss. Tom went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, a couple of runs. I thought threw the ball pretty well, just threw the 79 pitches. So if you look at what he could do, he could give you 6-7 innings tonight. Good stuff, all 4 pitches. His fastball can sit in that 93, 90, 94 range.
And I think everybody agrees this is a real nice opportunity for Tom Koehler, a guy that has come up through the minor leagues as a winner. 54-32 record in the minors with an ERA in the mid-3s. And so here he goes, start number 2 this year, but he's going up against a red-hot bunch of Arizona Diamondbacks, including the man at the plate. Gerardo Parra had 3 hits last night, and he goes after the first pitch and drills it to right field. That ball's deep. That ball's gone. My goodness. The Diamondbacks last night hit a pair of home runs in the first inning and jumped to a 3-0 lead, and Parra hits the first pitch he sees into the Marlins bullpen.
Well, Parra led off the game last night with a double. He had 2 more hits. He had a 3-hit night, and it doesn't take him long. Fastball, middle of the plate. That's where Tom Koehler has to work. He's got to go in and out with that fastball and spot it instead of just throwing it right down the middle, and Parra took care of the rest.
Didi Gregorius. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Fielding Culbreth calling balls and strikes. Gregorius last night scored twice. He was 1 for 4. And he's been a real nice addition to the Diamondbacks. Gregorius coming over in that 3-way trade with the Reds and the Indians. And his offense has been the surprise. Everybody knows he's a terrific defender. But he comes in hitting at .342. He already has 3 home runs and 6 doubles.
Actually spent a little time, about a week, with a slight concussion where he wasn't playing.
Check swing on a fastball up and in. And the count's 2-2. So Kohler's given up a home run, the second in 16 innings this year. Gregorius swings and misses. Koehler gets a strikeout. 1 out. Miami's defense tonight brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic, Florida.
Good rebound by Tom Koehler. Juan Pierre. Chris Coghlan starting in center field tonight. Marcelo Zuna, the right fielder. Polanco and Echeverria. We talked about them, how solid they've been defensively. Dietrich and Dobbs. And Brantley is behind the plate.
Goldschmidt swings and lines it foul into the seats, and that may feel like a moral victory for Koehler just to have Goldschmidt foul one off. Goldschmidt didn't miss much last night. He was 4 for 5. He scored 4 runs. He hit 2 homers. He drove in 4 runs. The most impressive at bat was his 3rd inning home run. That was a 13 pitch at bat in a battle with Kevin Slowey, and it ended with his 2nd home run against Slowey.
You know, and all of a sudden, too, Rich, you're seeing Tom Koehler use his other stuff. He got Gregorius on an off-speed pitch, good slider, that last pitch to Goldschmidt, who in his last 2 games, last night, their game before they came into Miami, his last 2 games, Goldschmidt is 7 for 9 with 4 doubles and 2 home runs. Another good slider.
And Koehler gets a strikeout. So a home run by Parra, and then strikeouts of Gregorius and Goldschmidt.
See, the thing with Tom Koehler, that slider, 90 miles an hour. So it's a hard one.
Now Eric Chavez. He's having a terrific year for the Diamondbacks. And a breaking ball strike to Chavez. And he had an enormous night last night, just like Goldschmidt. 4 for 5, a homer, and he drove in 2. The biggest challenge for Chavez throughout his career, once he was 6-7 years in the big leagues, was just staying healthy. From 2006 on, that's been a challenge. And he takes down low. Chavez so far this year has played in 30 games. This is game number 43 for the Diamondbacks. 30 games, 89 at bats. And he takes away.
Well, he was used just right by the Yankees last year. 281, 113 games, it's 16 home runs.
Pulled foul. You got to like what Kevin Towers, the general manager of the Diamondbacks, has done. He's got the perfect complement and the perfect piece in Martin Prado, in that he can stick him at third base and have Prado make 35, 40 starts at third. Prado at second base until Aaron Hill comes back off the disabled list, and then you never know where you're going to find him. But you know, at the end of the year, Prado's going to have 550 at bats.
Yeah, he's going to have his 140, 150 games at numerous positions.
Tom Kohler, a fastball, fly ball down the line and out of reach of Juan Pierre. Diamondbacks last night, really impressive. 16 hits, 9 runs. Kirk Gibson's ball club, who were at 500 last year. Of course, a bit of a makeover with Justin Upton leaving. A trade to get Didi Gregorius. Prado arriving. And so far, they've been able to get offense from places that they didn't get last year. Gerardo Parra has been outstanding at the top of the order. We talked about Gregorius, Chavez. Of course, Goldschmidt has just been on fire. 3-2 coming. In the air, back behind third, Echeverria and Pierre, and it's Pierre who makes the catch. First pitch of the night, Gerardo Parra. His fourth. And it's 1-0 Arizona. And the Diamondbacks have a 1-0 lead. Miami goes to work against Brandon McCarthy with this lineup: Juan Pierre, Adeiny Echeverria, Derek Dietrich, Marcelo Zuna. Chris Coghlan gets a start in center. Greg Dobbs behind him. Placido Polanco in the 7th spot. Rob Brantley hits 8th. And Tom Kohler will hit 9th.
Yeah, and there's a look at 29-year-old Brandon McCarthy making his first ever appearance against the Marlins.
Pierre, 0 for 2 last night. And a fastball from McCarthy misses away. Pierre did walk twice, swiped a bag. Marlins didn't have many hits. It's the similar line score that the Marlins have had all year long. Just 2 runs on 7 hits last night. Cody Ross. Hope you had a chance to hear Craig Minervini's walk and talk with Cody. Great shot of his son Hudson sliding in. Here at Marlins Park, Cleveland Clinic brings you the Diamondbacks defense.
And there is Cody Ross, A.J. Pollock, Gerardo Parra, a Gold Glover. Actually, looks like he's wearing the Gold Glove out there. Chavez, Gregorius, Prado, and Goldschmidt around the infield.
Echeverria goes after the first pitch. All right, Tommy Hutton, question for you here.
All right.
You're facing a pitcher in Brandon McCarthy who doesn't walk anybody, and I mean anybody, unless it's seemingly an intentional walk. The last 137 batters he's faced, he's issued one walk that was not intentional. How do you as a hitter approach that or attack?
Number one, you have to be ready. You have to, it's not the type of guy you want to wait out, make him get deep in the count, because he's going to throw strikes. He gives up a lot of hits. He gets by with that because he walks so few. Got a fastball, he'll throw a curveball, a changeup. But where the Marlins have gotten in so much trouble, especially the last couple of nights, so many ground ball outs. 36 ground ball outs over the last 2 games.
And so while you want to be patient and look for a pitch you can drive, if you do that against McCarthy, it very quickly will be 0-2. 92-mile-an-hour fastball is up. McCarthy is out of Colorado Springs, just a beautiful place in Colorado, home of the Air Force Academy. NORAD is tucked away in the mountains there.
There's that breaking ball that he has. No swing, says Adrian Johnson. It's scout Brandon McCarthy. Strike thrower, no question. Curveball's about 80 miles an hour. You just saw it. He's not an overpowering guy. Be ready. So you got a good idea. 3-1. You're going to get a fastball because he doesn't walk guys. He's going to be, even those were close.
At the letters, Dietrich on his way down to first. And you heard Dietrich say, "My bad," as he got back in the box. Got to make peace with an umpire, especially if you're a rookie.
And you're going to be around a while. Interesting story surrounding the home plate umpire. Field and Colbert. This is the crew and Field and Colbert, the umpire, that messed up, botched up the call with the Houston Astros when they allowed Bo Porter to bring in the pitcher when he should have pitched to the hitter.
Dietrich takes up. Brandon McCarthy has walked. Derek Dietrich.
The odd thing about it, Rich, is that the umpires, the other umpires, were fine. Colbert was suspended for 8 days, but he hasn't served that suspension yet.
Here comes Marcell Ozuna. The move in question was a back and forth with Mike Scioscia and Bo Porter. Porter had changed pitchers after Scioscia had pinch hit, and Scioscia brought up another. There into right field goes Ozuna. Dietrich a big turn, and he has to hustle back, and he's almost caught. Gregorius an acrobatic catch and tag. And a heads-up throw by Gerardo Parra, who's as good as you get in right field.
Boy, and that's as good as it gets with a swing, too. There's that Gold Glove and a strong arm. Dietrich pops up because he's not sure what's pouncing on top of him. He gets back in a hurry. There's the pick by Gregorius, a terrific play. And thankfully, Dietrich kept his hand on the bag.
Here now is Coghlan. So a walk, a hit. There's 2 outs. Coghlan has earned himself a start tonight with some really good swings as a pinch hitter. He got to start the other night and had an 0-for-2 night with a line drive out. You know, in talking to Chris, one of the toughest things, you see that average there at 206, is not looking up on the scoreboard and seeing 206 and trying to get all those hits back in one night. Breaking ball into right field. That's a base hit. Runner coming home. It's Dietrich. Parra's got a great arm. He is out at the plate. Montero got to the corner just as Dietrich arrived. And Gerardo Parra, that's why he is one of the best right fielders in all of baseball. Tonight, High Definition is brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Marlins Park. Marlins thought they had a run. Here's a super slow-mo look. Montero getting to him with the tag. And it looks like just before the foot got to the plate. But that's bang, bang, and that's close.
That's a good look.
Cody Ross takes a strike. There was no argument from Dietrich, and there was no argument from Mike Redmond. And of course, the dugouts here, in the spot where the managers stand or sit, very close to home plate. Ross into the gap. Coughlin to cut it off. Cody around first. He'll hold there. Nice play by Chris Coughlin, who has improved his defense out in center field. That arm is healthy. He has that infielder type range out in center. It's a single for Ross.
And his legs feel good. Knees healthy. Got a good lower half, so he gets to this ball quickly. And he knows if there's any kind of bobble, Cody Ross is going to take off for second. Good news about the bottom half of the first. The Marlins swung the bats well and had good ABs against McCarthy.
So Kohler's back to work. Montero now, he goes after the first pitch and fouls it back and out of play. Miguel Montero, very, very good defensively. And last year, he was very good offensively. He hit .286. He had an on-base percentage of .391. And as a catcher, when you drive in 88 runs and you're on base at close to a 400 clip, that's really good offensively.
But it's been a struggle for Montero this year. 0 for his last 16.
His on-base percentage just .280. And that's 100 points higher than his batting average. .23 pitches into this one. The first pitch of the night ended up in Miami's bullpen. Gerardo Parra, a leadoff home run.
Fun, the Diamondbacks, we've talked about how Goldschmidt has hit so well away from their home ballpark. They've hit 25 home runs in 19 road games and 19 home runs in 23 home games.
Two, dribbled up the line. That's a fair ball or foul ball? He's out. It's a fair ball. Montero getting a quick explanation. Now, you saw Montero say, hey, it hit behind there, but it doesn't matter where it hits. It matters where it ends up.
Alertly, Cody Ross moved on to second base and didn't just go back to first thinking it was a foul ball.
Look at Montero. Montero said, hey, look, it hit back here.
Yeah, for a minute, I think Brantley thought it was a foul ball, too.
Colbert said, doesn't matter, man. It's where it ends up. And Montero said, yeah, you're right. Prado. He takes outside. In essence, it's a perfect sacrifice bunt. And you got Prado, who sprayed line drives all over the place last night on a 3-for-5 night. Roller to short. Echeverria on the run. Terrific play. With his momentum coming towards the first base line, Echeverria just turned the shoulders and made an easy throw to Polanco to get the out.
You know, it was a short throw. I'm not so sure some shortstops would say easy, but he got the top half of his body squared around, and he made it easy because of the positioning he got his body in. Heads up play. He knew he had Ross with Cody on the move. Cody Ross knows he made a mistake because the ball was in front of him, too.
A.J. Pollock, Diamondbacks center fielder. And Kohler throws a fastball for a strike.
You have to like the way Tom Kohler, number one, came back in the first inning after the home run by Parra. And he's made good pitches and trying to come back here after the leadoff single by Cody Ross.
Out in front, 0-2. The Parra home run standing up here in Miami.
Guys who are and have been winners in the minor leagues know how to pitch out of adversity. And Tom Kohler, a big winner in the minor leagues.
His best year was 2010 when he was an unbelievable 16-2 in Double-A. Breaking ball just missed.
He likes to get it. He doesn't like to waste too much time. Likes to get that sign right away. A long look by Brantley into the dugout. I think Kohler wants to work. Wants to say, come on, let's go. Brantley checking on, seeing what the dugout wants him to do with the runner at first base. I wouldn't worry about that with 2 out.
No.
Let him pitch.
You got the pitcher on deck.
Get him in a good rhythm. Let him pitch.
That one foul back out of play. One and two. Kohler ready, 1-2. Check swing. Did he go? Nope, close. Brian Onora. Now it's 2-2. Prado who's at first. Dobbs sprawling, and then he gets to the bag and gets the out. So Tom Kohler works a scoreless second. And in Miami, it's 1-0 Arizona. One nothing Arizona on top of Miami. It's Dwayne Bilo there in the middle. Bilo just called up. John Roush was designated for assignment after last night's ball game. Marlins and the Phillies on Monday night. All-you-can-eat seats for just $22 on an Outback Steakhouse, South Florida. Heroes Monday. All military, veteran, police, firefighters, first responders can get free tickets to the game. Just go to marlins.com. When last we saw the Marlins at the plate, it was Derek Dietrich trying to slide in, and he was just caught on the terrific throw by right fielder Gerardo Parra. And so it's Dobbs, Polanco, Brantley. A low strike. And it's 0-1. Dobbs 3 hits last night, moving his average up to 221. In the air to center. A.J. Pollock is there to make the catch. After the ball game last night, the roster move. John Roush designated for assignment. Dwayne Bilo called up from New Orleans. Now Bilo is a guy that does have major league experience with the Detroit Tigers.
He's a guy too, Rich, who has done a little bit of both in the major leagues. He was starting in AAA, so he can give you innings as a lefty. He can start, or he can come out of the bullpen.
Placido Polanco. Bouncer to short, Gregorius. And Polanco is tagged out. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Miami Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. Brantley's pop-up, third base side. Chavez reaches and makes the catch. He's still got that magic. We saw him last night make a a bunch of nice plays, and Brandon McCarthy takes just 5 pitches to get through the fish in the second. AT&T U-verse presents our poll question tonight. What are we polling for tonight? Who's your first baseman? Would you take Joey Votto, hashtag Sin Votto, or would you take Paul Goldschmidt, hashtag Airy Goldie? AT&T U-verse TV. If you're going on track record and Gold Glove, you probably go Votto, but if you're
I think if you're watching your purse strings and kind of watching the finances, you'd go with Goldschmidt.
See, that's where I was headed.
The way he's locked in for 5 years.
And the age as well. Goldschmidt's just 25. Here's McCarthy as he stands in there. Goldschmidt also has a not as long a term deal as Joey Votto, but about a quarter of the money that Votto is due. Votto's due well over $200 million. So I guess it depends on which steakhouse you want to go to. You want to go to the really expensive one, or you want to go to that new one down the block that's getting the good reviews.
You want to go to Outback, you want to go to Morton's. Might not be that much of a disparity.
McCarthy makes a nice breaking ball from Tom Kohler. Now Miami is struggling right now. The Fish have dropped 6 in a row. They're 11-31. So our producer John Solser figured tonight was a pick to click night. And so everybody on the broadcast crew got a shot. First guy to get someone locks that player up. And so far, Chris Coughlin with a hit, Marcell Ozuna with a hit. If Coughlin had knocked in the run, if Dietrich had been safe at the plate, Coughlin would be worth 2 points.
So a point for an RBI. All right. Do you get 2 points for a double? Or is it just a point for a base hit? Okay, total bases. All right.
That's right. Home run gets you 4. Well, this is the guy that is responsible for that one run. The first pitch of the game, Gerardo Parra hit out for his 4th home run of the season. Parra out of Venezuela. Adrian Johnson says that's a swing. Now that's a swing.
He may not see that fastball down the middle this at bat. Saw a good sharp breaking ball that he couldn't hold back on that last pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Now he's way outside, and it's 3-2. Already it has been a busy day in baseball with lots of finals from this afternoon, including the Reds waxing the Phillies 10-0. That one fouled off and out of play. Who did the damage, you ask?
Well, let's start with Chu and Votto.
All right, well, I'll give you Votto, his 6th home run. Votto drove in 2. He had 4 hits. He was 4 for 4. Chu was 2 for 5. With a walk, of course. Jay Bruce.
Yeah, he's been hot.
Had a couple of hits. Todd Frazier finally getting some hits. And Ryan Hanigan hit his first homer of the season for the Reds. 10-0 win over the Phillies. The Reds improved to 26-17. Mets went down again to the Cubs. 8-2. A swing, a miss. Brantley picks it up, tags him out. Kohler, after giving up the home run, has now struck out 4.
He's used all his stuff. Good slider to strike out Parra there, and especially so because it was a 3-2 slider. Gerardo Parra more hits than anybody in the National League.
D.D. Gregorius. Strikeout victim in the first. Gregorius takes up.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was saying that Parra came into the game tied with John Segura of the Brewers, but Segura's 1 for 1 tonight. So they're still tied. 55 hits, each of them.
Three and 0. And there is Goldschmidt waiting on deck. At the knees. Gregorius in a nice group of infielders from the Netherlands. He's a swing and a miss. It's 3-2. Andrelton Simmons, of course, the Braves shortstop. Profar, Bogarts, Scope, all 3 big prospects. Jurickson, Profar are the Rangers.
The Netherlands becoming San Pedro de Macorís.
Jonathan Scope of the Orioles and Xander Bogaerts of the Red Sox.
And one that you hear talked about so often, Jurickson Profar, who's in AAA with the Rangers. They have Elvis Andrus at shortstop, so they have a decision they have to make down the road.
Yeah, he's a guy that has been talked about as if the Rangers did want to trade, that might be expendable because of that long-term deal. That's amazing. You got, 4 uber prospects.
Yeah.
Now that Gregorius is here, I guess 3 uber prospects and 2 big leaguers. Gregorius at first. And here is Goldschmidt, who struck out back in the first.
Kohler made some good pitches to strike out Goldschmidt back in the first inning and put him away with a hard slider.
Whoa, up, in, and all the way to the screen. Looked like a wild pitch.
Not an easy one for a catcher to get. You see catchers struggle with that high fastball that's up and out of the zone. That one especially tough because it was inside too.
He's behind 2-0. in a perfect spot, a strike outside park.
This is an area, the last couple of games, last night and game prior to that for the Diamondbacks, where they've really excelled. Last 2 games, they're 9 for 18 with runners in scoring position.
Goldschmidt sprays that one. Dietrich to his left, on to first in time. And after that home run by Parra in the first, Kohler has looked sharp.
Nothing Arizona, bottom of the third. Obviously tough times for the Marlins, matching their worst start ever, but there are better days ahead for the offense, averaging just 2.5 runs a game, 2.7 actually. Logan Morrison, first of all, played 9 innings, extended spring today. His rehab stint should start probably as early as Monday in Jupiter. That's good news. He can come off the DL as early as May 30th. Giancarlo Stanton, some innovative rehab for him. He did it last year as well. He's been using the anti-gravity treadmill that you can see over at the University Health Clinic they have right here at the ballpark. What this is, he actually puts a girdle on around his body from the waist up to probably the midsection, and it takes away about 40% of his body weight, so he feels more like, let's say, a 180-pound guy than the 250 pounds that he has. A lot less stress as he rehabs the hamstring, hopes to get back sooner, and should maybe start running next week with gravity. And the other story is a good one, guys. It's the Yelich squatch. Christian was 0 for 4 in the game last night for Jacksonville, but so far he's been just tearing the cover off the ball, especially against right-handed pitching. He's hitting .323 with, look at all those extra base hits, 4 triples, 9 doubles, 6 homers, and 99 at-bats. Now, one stat I did notice, guys, he's hitting .373 against righties, but only .219 against lefties. And that's how it's going so far for Yelich. Lefty hitter, .323, good power numbers. Seems like he might be up maybe mid-June, but those are 3 things to think about as the Marlin offense tries to get a little better as the season moves on.
All right, thank you, Craig. Tom Kohler facing Brandon McCarthy, who bends one in the dirt. Counts 2-2. Kohler leading it off, then Juan Pierre and Adeiny Echeverria. Miami down 1-0. Gerardo Parra's first pitch of the game home run is standing up. Brandon McCarthy in his pinpoint control. He strikes out Kohler. He actually walked Derek Dietrich back in the first.
McCarthy signed a 2-year contract with the Diamondbacks too in the offseason. Originally drafted by the White Sox, he was traded to Texas, became a free agent, went on to the Oakland A's, and now a Diamondback.
2011 and 2012 with the Athletics. And a strike to Pierre. Fly ball out in the first.
So McCarthy has always had spring training in Arizona.
That one pulled into the seats. And it's 0-2.
Well, we have a battle of two guys. Tom Kohler trying to win his first major league game. McCarthy hasn't won a game in his last 9 starts. 8 this year, and you go back to last year.
And his last start was his best start. He went 8 innings and did not give up a run to the Phillies. Matched up against Kyle Kendrick. Did not get a decision in what turned out to be a 4-2 loss.
Well, his season didn't end on a very good note last year either.
No, it ended on a very scary note for sure. The 1-2 is down low. And just the fact that McCarthy is on the mound and pitching in a big league uniform is a terrific story itself. He's 2-2 on Pierre. Little dribbler behind the plate. This was the scary moment. Eric Ibar hit the line drive. McCarthy, as an athletic, took it flush to the head and suffered a fractured skull. He had to have emergency surgery to relieve the pressure and bleeding, and thankfully came out of it okay. He didn't return to the mound last year, but certainly is back out there right now.
Boy, you give him a lot of credit. And here's the guy in his career has had a lot of other injury problems. He's been on the disabled list 10 different times.
Pierre to center. A.J. Pollock makes the catch, and there are 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. They bring up Adeiny Echeverria. Game's going on right now. A wild one in Anaheim. 12-9, Angels on top of the White Sox. Unbelievably, the Angels are 12 under right now, despite Albert Pujols and Josh Hamilton and that big payroll. The Dodgers and the Braves are underway and in the bottom of the 3rd and scoreless in Atlanta. St. Louis has the first 2 runs of the night against Milwaukee in the bottom of the 2nd. Giants in Colorado to face the Rockies, and the Nationals are in San Diego to take on the Padres. The other National League games going on tonight. Pittsburgh 1-0 over Houston, bottom 3rd. In interleague play, the Astros grabbed a defeat out of the jaws of victory last night with a drop pop-up in right field, allowing 2 runs to score in the bottom of the 9th, and the Pirates walked off. McCarthy has it, flips to first in time, and Echeverria is 0 for 2, and Brandon McCarthy has given up a couple hits but no runs. Gerardo Parra's home run the difference in this game. Dive in and catch the Marlins against the Phillies Tuesday. Phillies are here for 3. Tuesday edition of the Miami Herald will get you the half-price Tuesday offer. Get up to 8 half-price tickets in Legend Silver, Baseline Reserve, Bullpen Reserve, or Home Run Porch.
Yeah, it's amazing, Rich. Our crack staff goes beyond the call of duty at times. We were talking about Parra's home run, first pitch of the game. The last time a Marlins pitcher allowed a home run on the first pitch of the game was July 18th, 2006. Alfonso Soriano took Dontrell Willis deep.
To right and down the line, and just foul. Boy, just foul. First base coach Steve Sachs was leaning out to watch that one down the line.
One of Tommy Lasorda's favorites. Hard-nosed player.
I'm taking the Diamondback staff against anybody.
Yeah, it's a good one. You know, okay, you can have theirs.
All right.
I'll take the Dodgers.
Okay.
Staff.
And your starting pitcher, my starting pitcher is going to be Charles Nagy. You'll probably go with Rick Honeycutt.
Rick Honeycutt.
Yeah. Heck, we could go in their prime or today.
Either way, they're all in good shape.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch either way.
Yeah.
Because I think Don Baylor could still drive the ball.
He can still intimidate.
I think Matt Williams would probably pop a few out of the ballpark.
Lopes could still steal a base.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good one.
Mattingly can stroke a base hit out there somewhere.
They might want to stick Sachs at first base. Swing and a miss. Brantley digs it out and tags out Eric Chavez. And Tom Kohler, obviously, if he could have that first pitch back, he'd take it back. But since giving up the Parra home run, he's been very sharp. He has struck out Chavez. He has struck out Goldschmidt. He has struck out Gregorius. He struck out Parra the next time he came up. So 5 strikeouts now for Kohler.
Yeah, that ties a career high for Tom.
Ross fouls it back, 94-mile-an-hour fastball. One of the things that you like about Kohler is he's lived with his fastball 93, 94.
But the thing that's different in the game tonight compared to the game in LA, he's had better command of his secondary pitches. The slider, the curve, the changeup. Good curveball there. And that's what makes Tom Kohler so intriguing, because he does have good stuff.
Got in on Ross. Ozuna makes the catch.
So the good curveball away, and then ran the fastball in just to tie Cody Ross up enough.
Now Miguel Montero, the Diamondbacks catcher. Dobbs backs up, and he will flip it to first. Covering is Kohler. 10-pitch inning for Tom Kohler. And he delivers it to the bottom of the 4th, 1-0. Baseball on Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Honda. Visit your Honda dealer for great lease and finance deals on fuel-efficient Hondas. And by Kaiser University, now offering degrees in sports management. Learn more at kaiseruniversity.edu. In Miami tonight, some rain activity around, so the roof is shut, the windows are closed. Mike Redmond and the Marlins trying to somehow, some way end a 6-game losing skid. And they trail the Diamondbacks 1-0. Gerardo Parra solo home run. Derek Dietrich, Marcelo Ozuna, and Chris Coghlan. Second time through for these hitters, and McCarthy with a good breaking ball in the inside part. Runs it in, and it's 1-1.
Just like the approach that Dietrich has. You ever watch him in the batter's box, the way he takes pitches?
In our conversation with Perry Hill a couple nights ago about Dietrich, we asked Perry about his defense, and Hill gave him high marks and said he's really going to turn out to be a really nice second baseman. But the other thing Perry Hill said that stood out, he said, this is a guy that loves to play the game. Now, that sounds like a trite saying, and you would think that everybody loves playing the game. But it's not true.
Well, sometimes part of that love is loving the work that comes into it and the practice.
3-2. Dietrich up the middle. Gregorius. Good range. Soft hands. He glides out there at short. So an out, and here comes Ozuna. Now Ozuna and Coghlan both had hits in the first. Coghlan's was to right, and Dietrich was at second with 2 outs. And it took a perfect throw from Gerardo Parra to get Dietrich and keep Miami off the board. Big breaking ball for a strike to Ozuna.
Looks like second time around, McCarthy's using his breaking ball a little bit more early in the count.
Oh, and 2. Ozuna had a hit in last night's ball game. Of course, he had the late triple on Thursday night in losing to the Reds. That was against Aroldis Chapman, and that tied the game. High pop-up. Montero makes the catch. Marlins have brought back the Fan Express bus. It's a VIP bus for 50 people that picks you up, takes you right to Marlins Park for a game. Find out how you and your friends can reserve this bus by contacting Marlins Group Sales and ask about the Fan Express.
Well, Chris on the year has had 8 starts in center field, 3 in left and 1 in right. And you talked about the pinch hitting, the way he swung the bat. Another well-hit ball.
Yeah, liner to center that Pollock runs down. So the Marlins are done in the 4th, 1-0 Diamondbacks. We're back after this sports injury prevention message from Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Solo homer, and that's it so far for both teams. Tom Koehler's looked sharp since giving up that first pitch of the night home run.
Yeah, he has. You like his pace. If you're an infielder or outfielder, you like playing behind him.
Martin Prado, A.J. Pollock, and the pitcher Brandon McCarthy. Echeverria. That's a nifty play. And he gets the out. And we check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Rich, thank you very much. This is a great surprise party here for George Lipp, who's turned 60, and his wife Lisa. Tell us what you did here. Original season ticket holders, as evidenced by the old teal Marlin shirt. Tell me what you did today.
I arranged we're season ticket holders, and we had the extra vouchers, and I worked with my sales rep, and I ended up putting together 18 seats, and I surprised my husband when we sat down here.
You didn't know the friends were coming.
I don't have very many friends, but it's great that she got my friends and family here, and it's a great night at the ballpark. We love it. We love it.
And you've been a season ticket holder since
Day number one. Yep. If we don't go to the game, we're watching the game on TV. Right. Definitely.
Now, how surprised were you? You come to the game, which is not unusual.
I only knew about 3 or 4 of us here, and then I started seeing some familiar faces, and yep, it was just great that she did that. Very good.
And this party's going to continue after the game, maybe?
Yeah, I have more.
Do you know that yet?
I had a lot of people I wanted to invite, but I could only get so many vouchers and so many
Right, so
things.
they're coming to the house?
Yeah, I couldn't put anything on the credit card, or he would have noticed.
Do you want to invite Marlin fans watching out there to come?
Billy.
Where do you guys live?
Why don't you bring
No, I'm
Billy?
just kidding.
Bring Billy. Yeah,
All
you
right.
and Billy.
Happy birthday, guys. That's nice, huh, Rich, Tommy? Back to you.
Thank you.
Very nice surprise. 7 pitches in that inning and a birthday. And Tom Koehler is rolling, but the Diamondbacks have a 1-0 lead. Foolproof stats. Active pinch hit leaders. Greg Dobbs at the front of the class. Eric Hinsky is here, though he wasn't needed last night. Matt Diaz at 59. We just saw Mark Kotze in San Diego. Reed Johnson we'll see in a little bit.
So how about that? 3 of the guys in the house with Dobbs, Hinsky, and Diaz. Could see Matt Diaz tomorrow, a left-hander pitching for the Diamondbacks. Wade Miley.
We talked about it in the outset of the telecast in talking about the Marlins offensively. Young versus old. Dobbs with 3 hits last night. People say this is a very young team. it's young in spots, but as we showed you last week, in terms of average age, it's not one of the younger teams in baseball.
Well, when you have Dobbs and Polanco and Juan Pierre in the lineup.
And the hope is that when the youth and the energy arrives, that being a Logan Morrison, a Giancarlo Stanton, or a Christian Yelich, maybe even a Jake Marisnick later in the season, that guys like Pierre and Dobbs and maybe even a Polanco can slide back into more of a support role than guys who you're depending on to play every day of the week.
And then that just helps your bench, improves your bench a little bit better, gives you some experience there. And as you said, a good support group for young players. It's always good when young players come up and they have a few veteran guys around to lean on.
And I think when Miami kind of designed this season, they didn't design it with the plans of Polanco playing 150 games and Dobbs playing 140 games. And taking nothing away from those players, just that wasn't the plan. You hope that the zero gravity girdle or whatever it was that we saw there works its magic and Stanton is back in the lineup quickly.
I wonder if they have that thing for broadcasters.
There's probably a few around the league that could use it. It's the Duffy's deal from Duffy's Sports Grill. You can catch a ride to the game for $40. Also gets you a lower level ticket, round trip motor coach transportation from Duffy's, and a $10 Duffy's gift card. The next Duffy's Deal game is coming up on Tuesday, May 21st against the Phillies. Get yours today at marlins.com/Duffy's. Brantley now. And he pops one over the dugout. The count's 0-2. Brantley popped out back in the second. Brandon McCarthy's given up just the 2 hits, and that came back in the first inning. And that came after a very rare walk. As we noted, for McCarthy, just his second traditional walk in about the last 150, about 150 hitters faced. Only 2 times has he given up a walk that was not an intentional walk.
It's amazing. And it's nothing new. Since 2010, he's 5th in the major leagues in fewest walks per 9 innings. And he was like that in the minor leagues. If you look at his minor league numbers, good record, good ERA, very few walks.
Big breaking ball, and it misses up. 2-2. Just 55 pitches here in the 5th, bottom half. Tom Kohler has thrown 71 in his 5 innings. And a high fastball. Brantley swings through it. And so McCarthy's not given up a hit since the first inning.
está disponible por SAP.
Well, that means we're headed over to the SAP booth. Joe and Cookie are there tonight. Gentlemen.
Tommy, Joe, how you
Hello,
guys doing?
guys. How are you?
We're doing well, and Cookie, you have to. We've been talking about Tom Kohler tonight. He looks real good out there.
I think he's done a great job. You know, in the first time up by Powder, that first pitch right down the middle. Well, that's part of the game. You know, he's trying to get ahead. It's a home run, but after that, he's shown a very good fastball, a very good slider, which has really fooled a lot the Diamondbacks, and he's done a tremendous job in the mound so far.
Well, he's got 5 strikeouts so far in the game.
And Brandon McCarthy is a strike thrower, too. He doesn't mess around. He goes right after hitters as well. And here is Parra, who hit his 4th homer of the season.
Well, this club is starting to get a little hot, and I think they're going to be a good ball club the rest of the year. So the Diamondbacks got a little bit of everything, Tommy and Joe. I think they got speed, they got power, they got defense, and they got a pretty good bullpen. So it's going to be interesting to see this club compete, you know, the rest of the year.
Yeah, they still have some key pieces that are out. J.J. Putz, their closer's out. Aaron Hill, their power-hitting second baseman, is out.
That's right.
But even with that, we're going to hear a lot of them. They're tied with San Francisco right now coming into tonight's game.
All right, guys, have a good show tonight.
All right, guys.
All right,
Let's see if we can get some runs here.
Hey, we'll do our best.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Parra struck out in the 3rd. And a knee-high strike.
I know Cookie enjoys this series. Being a former middle infielder, he's having fun watching Echeverria and Gregorius. A couple of real nice shortstops.
Full count, Kohler to Parra. Elevated fastball, struck him out. You really have to be impressed with Kohler since the Parra home run.
And every out he gets this inning is a career high. His career high had been 5 innings. So he elevates 92 miles an hour and got Parra to chase it. So after the home run, he struck out Gerardo Parra twice.
And that's, to me, the most impressive thing are the guys that he has struck out. He's got 6 strikeouts. Brandon McCarthy, one of them, the pitcher. After that, everybody else, a really good hitter. I mean, Parra twice, Gregorius in the 2 spot, Goldschmidt, and then Eric Chavez. And here is Gregorius.
Well, remember last night, the top of the order, first 4 hitters were 12 for 19. And Tom Kohler has held them in check, just 1 for 8 tonight.
Off speed, foul back, out of play. Cholula hot sauce spotlight. Marixen Julius, born in Amsterdam, grew up in Curacao. As Tommy pointed out last night, all of those players that come out of Curacao, Aruba, they all speak English, Dutch, Spanish, Papiamento.
Still trying to work a little bit on my Papiamento.
Andrew Jones, a guy to go to if you have issues.
Well, he's in Japan, though.
Just think about that. He's learning how to speak Japanese.
He can throw Japanese in the mix now.
That's what made Hensley Mullins so popular over there. Mullins was the manager of the Netherlands team in the World Baseball Classic. They went over to Japan, and
he can do interviews with everybody.
That was one of the, and he played in Japan, and he was a very popular player when he played over there. We will see Mullins in June. He's the hitting coach for the San Francisco Giants.
Second 3-ball count. Got away with the first one, struck out Parra, but lost Gregorius there. Now he's got to deal with a couple of tough ones in Goldschmidt and then Chavez.
Goldschmidt a strikeout, and he has bounced to second. Goldschmidt, a dozen homers, 35 driven in. Certainly a guy you'd think about as an all-star playing in New York at Citi Field. He's still 1 behind Brandon Phillips in the RBI chase and 2 behind Justin Upton in the homer race. That's another base hit. Goldschmidt, his 5th hit of the series. And now with Gregorius at second, Goldschmidt at first. The at-bat for Chavez even bigger now for Kohler.
I'll tell you where Goldschmidt has improved this year. Last year, he hit .257 against righties, .343 against lefties. He's balanced that out. And to a man, just about every coach that I've talked to with the Diamondbacks has said they can't believe, when you talk about Goldschmidt, the thing that comes to their mind is his preparation and his work to get ready for each game.
Chavez. Ball in the dirt. Gregorius thought about advancing. Brantley got a piece and then a handle on it. Chavez with the Yankees last year, 278 at bats. Pretty productive. He hit 16 homers. It's a nice ballpark to play in half your games if you are a left-handed hitter. Short porch and right. He's not had 300 at bats in a season since '07. He's swinging it like it's 05 right now.
He's swinging it like he thinks Giambi's hitting behind him.
And Tejada's at first.
Hey, talking about the coaching staff, there's Ryan Webb getting loose. Alan Trammell was one of those coaches that was talking so highly about Goldschmidt. We also got talking about, you know, it was a sore subject for him, but he really had some interesting things to say. The year he managed the Tigers in '03, when they were 43 and 119. So he knows what it's like to, and you know, we're making some comparisons, looking across the diamond, the young players the Marlins have, but he said the Marlins have a lot more talent than he had in that '03 team.
Mike Redmond's hands are tied as far as the roster goes, as the Marlins wait for the youth and the prospects to get here. And Trammell's hands were tied as well.
We talked about young players that come up, some that maybe are ready, some that aren't. Alan Trammell was 19. He said he was 19 when he got to the big leagues.
And that club you just talked about that he managed, he had some guys that probably didn't belong in the big leagues that he was forced to carry because they were all Rule 5 draft picks.
Said he had 3 pitchers on his roster all season that were Rule 5 picks that he had to keep all year.
That's incredible. 2-2.
And only a question that I think our esteemed director Jim Holley would be able to answer. I said, who'd you take the place of when you were a young player as a shortstop? And he had the name right away. Tom Verizon was the shortstop before Alan Trammell.
Struck him out, and Chavez knew it. Kohler came and got the outside corner and gets a big strikeout with 2 on and 1 out.
Last couple of hitters, Tom Kohler was trying to put him away with fastballs. And I think Chavez thought, okay, I'm going to see heat. And he just paints a breaking ball in the outer part of the plate. Great pitch.
Cody Ross singled in the second, flied out in the fourth.
Seven strikeouts for Kohler.
To get out of the sixth and keep it 1-0 would be a nice shot in the arm for Tom Kohler, trying to stick in this rotation.
Yeah, and this will probably be his last inning. So he'd like to shut things down, keep it a 1-0 game. His spot's due up first when the Marlins bat in the bottom half.
Oh, 0-2.
Chuck Hernandez has to be pleased with what he's seen.
In the air to right, Ozuna. And after the first pitch of the game homer to Gerardo Parra, Tom Koehler has been terrific. First pitch of the night was hit out of the ballpark by Gerardo Parra, and after that, Koehler, magnificent. He has shut down the Diamondbacks. It's a 1-0 ball game. Our Toyota tread. Road differential. Tommy talked about how impressive it is that the Diamondbacks, who play in a great hitter's park in Arizona, have been scoring more runs on the road and doing more damage home run wise. The Red Sox have the best run differential as far as road run differential. Matt Diaz off the bench, and Diaz will hit for Koehler and lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. Diaz, then Pierre, Echeverria, Brandon McCarthy. His pitch count much lower than Kohler's. McCarthy is at 57.
Diaz, a couple of pinch hits, 2 for 6 in that pinch hitting role.
Breaking ball. Diaz rolls it to short.
Well, there's no question, and we've talked about it, that the offense, the ability to score runs has just been an immense struggle. If you go back to that game in Philadelphia where the Marlins scored 14 runs, charter flight left, headed to the West Coast, everybody was feeling pretty good. In the last 10 games since that game, the Marlins have scored a total of 17 runs.
And we were talking about the Houston Astros last night. The Astros, on a drop pop-up, lost in walk-off fashion in Pittsburgh. Houston's record, Miami's record, identical. But the way they've lost games, the Astros, compared to the Marlins, dramatically different. Pierre takes down low. Miami, if you look at the Marlins team ERA, the Marlins have a 4.22 ERA. The Astros is 5.70, a run and a half higher. Pierre is out. I don't think I've only seen Gregorius a few times. but reading about him and talking to other people about him, there are many that think this guy is going to be an all-star for some time to come.
And there are many who feel the same about Andrelton Simmons of the Braves. Speaking of the Braves, how about the starting pitcher tonight for the Orioles? That game's over. Jair Jurgens. The Orioles have had a whole lot of problems with their number 5 starter.
Echeverria lines it to right. Hara over to get it, and he'll pick it up. We talk about Gregorius and Simmons. The hope for the Marlins is that Echeverria, who pulls in with a single, can get to the point where his offense makes people sit up and take notice. Speaking of the Braves, they got some more bad news.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Venters, of course, a couple days ago, it was learned would have to undergo his second Tommy John surgery. And now Eric O'Flaherty, another key part of that bullpen, is out, and he's got serious elbow issues. Dietrich takes a fastball for a strike from McCarthy. Dietrich looking at Joe Espada, asking for time.
Yeah, McCarthy, you talked about the role that he's been on. He'd retired 14 in a row before that base hit from Echeverria.
Echeverria still looking for his first major league stolen base. Montero, pretty good throwing catcher behind the plate. Good jump, and Dietrich fouls it back. Montero's in a bit of a slump, and you've got to know that his pitchers probably aren't helping. Here's a guy that threw out 34% of base runners last year, and this year he's thrown out just 1 in 12.
Boy, we talked about his slump offensively. He's having a slump behind the plate, too.
Count 0-2 again. And Etch is back in. McCarthy comfortable in the bottom of the 6th at 66 pitches. And interested in keeping Echeverria as close as he can. Oh, 2 not running, and the slide step, and it pops out of Montero's glove. The slide step to keep Echeverria close seemed to fool with McCarthy and with Montero's timing.
Well, it should be a pass ball. It is. Yeah, he went quick to the plate with that slide step. May have fooled Montero a little bit.
One, 2. High fastball. Dietrich swings and misses. Miami leaves that runner in scoring position. 6 are done. Arizona 1-0. lead. Tomorrow, a family Sunday. The series ends at 1:10. You get the Pepsi 4 for $54 pack, including 4 tickets, 4 KM beef franks, 4 Pepsis for just $54. All fans get a Marlins drawstring bag courtesy of MLB Network, and kids can run the bases after the game in the Diamond Dash. Marlins.com, the place to go for information and tickets. This game hits the top of the 7th inning. The first pitch of the game was hit out of the park by Gerardo Parra, and that's all the scoring so far. Ryan Webb, an outstanding season so far, and he's on. He'll enter and take on Miguel Montero, Martin Prado, and A.J. Pollock in the 7th.
Well, every time he gets an out, he just continues to extend his consecutive scoreless streak. His consecutive scoreless inning streak right now, 15 1/3. And for Ryan Webb, that is a career high. And he just keeps adding on to that. Saw him in the ball game last night with a nice inning.
Montero's 0 for 2. Up the middle into center field, and a base hit. That snaps an 0 for 18 skid for Montero, and it brings Prado up. The final line for Tom Kohler: 6 innings, 3 hits, a run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. And Kohler threw 94 pitches.
Up from the 79 pitches he threw in his 5 innings in Los Angeles.
Runner goes, hit and run. Prado sprays it foul.
When you have a hitter up at the plate such as Martin Prado, you don't hesitate putting on a play like that, even though Montero, a catcher, doesn't run that well. He's the runner at first base. You're putting all your faith in the hitter. You know he's going to make contact.
Prado has always made contact, a career .295 hitter coming into this season. He hit .301 last year with the Braves. An all-star last year was Martin Prado. Hey. 0-2.
Prado hitless tonight with 7 for his last 16.
A great start to the season for Webb. Arizona's bullpen has been a real interesting one in terms of sheer stats. They've blown 11 saves. Many of those blown saves, though, did not come in the 9th inning.
Yeah, and they've actually come back and won a few of those games.
Yes. And their ERA is quite low out of the pen. That is tailor-made. Echeverria, Dietrich, and a double play. There are 2 outs. We check in with Craig Minervini.
Well, guys, with that double play, Ryan Webb keeps moving up the list into the Marlin history books for scoreless consecutive innings out of the bullpen in one season. Take a look at the numbers. This is just prior to that out. He was at 15 1/3. So move him up now to 16 innings. That's above Cishek, into the top 6 or 7 now. Luis Aquino, the all-time record for one season, 26 1/3 scoreless. Clay Hensley actually ran that mark over 23 innings if you combine a couple of years, but 18 in 1 inning for old favorite, the right-hander. Good job so far for Webb.
A strike to A.J. Pollock. Thank you, Craig. Pollock, the Notre Damer, getting a chance to play here just about every day. Pretty good pitch, misses, and it's 1-1.
Well, another reason they felt they could make the deal and trade at Justin Upton.
And they have depth too, because Adam Eaton, another terrific young outfielder, is on the disabled list.
Jason Kupel, guy who swings the bat pretty well, left fielder, can hit the home run. He's not playing right now, but he's on the bench.
Ball in the dirt, it's 2-2. Of course, right now the class of the West, the Giants and the Diamondbacks, both tied 24-18. The Giants have a 1-0 lead in Colorado in the third right now. Pollock swings and misses, and Ryan Webb adds another scoreless inning to the list. Here's the game summary brought to you by Auto Nation.
First pitch, he tried to get ahead to a hitter, and what does Gerardo Parra do? He hits a home run. The Marlins almost came back and tied this game on a base hit by Chris Coghlan, but that guy Parra, Gold Glover, made a perfect throw to the plate. How about Tom Kohler? Just tremendous. Breaking balls, he got strikeouts with that. Slider, strikeouts with that. He used his fastball to pick up some Ks. 7 strikeouts, 6 innings for Tom Kohler, and the only thing he gave up was that leadoff home run. He gave up 3 base hits, 2 singles, and the leadoff home run to Gerardo Parra.
It's Brandon McCarthy who is still standing, and look at the pitches. 68 pitches through 6 innings. Economical around the plate, using a very good defense, especially his shortstop, Didi Gregorius, seems to have a ground ball in just about every inning. Ozuna takes a breaking ball for a strike. Marcell Ozuna, Chris Coghlan, Greg Dobbs.
A little different than the last couple of nights. Only 7 ground ball outs so far to this point,
which is about half the total of each of the last few nights.
Boy, Trevor Cahill had 18, induced 18 ground ball outs. Matt Latos, game before that, had 15 while he was in the game.
Pitch is out from McCarthy. Ozuna, a home run. That was in Philly. 6 runs driven in. Fastball up, and Ozuna walks. So Marcell Ozuna draws a rare walk from Brandon McCarthy. And here comes Chris Coghlan.
That's the banana rally suit that gets going after a leadoff walk. Well, you really like to make a guy pay when he walks the leadoff man, a guy who doesn't walk many.
Fruit of the loom night at the ballpark. Coghlan, RBI single, and is lined out. And Chris takes it inside. Montero thought he went after it. They're going to appeal this, and Adrian Johnson says no, he pulled it back. Here's another look. That was close.
Yeah, it was.
And in pulling it back, Coghlan pulled his feet out from under him.
He also crossed up Montero. He really blocked him out a little bit. That's why Montero couldn't catch that ball cleanly.
Breaking ball. That's a strike, and it's 1-1. So Coghlan's hit the ball hard twice. The single was to right. The liner found A.J. Pollock out in center. Ozuna has stolen a base.
See, a guy like McCarthy, he'll quick pitch. He did it there. But because he's around the plate and he's going to be close to the strike zone, especially 2-1, he doesn't want to walk another batter. This would be a good hit and run situation. Got a little speed at first. Got a good back control guy at the plate.
Count even now at 2-2. Ozuna at first. Coghlan fouls it back. Runs tough to come by, and that's an understatement for Miami. Last in the major leagues in a lot of the offensive categories that count. Miami in 42 games has scored 115 runs, and a swing and a miss. The throw behind. That was close, and it was close because Ozuna, it looked like he was pulling his hand back, feeling like he might be out.
Boy, a real quick snap throw by Montero on this strikeout. The throw's a little high.
He is out.
He was out. Yeah, he's not. He's tagging. He gets him right there before he gets to the bag. So a little bit of a break.
You don't see too many guys when they dive back to first try to pull the hand back and get around that.
And you know what? Generally, when the throw beats a runner like that on that type play, with the umpire, first base umpire Brian Onora had a better look than all of us. But generally, they ring the runner up when that throw beats him that way.
Yeah, Miami is fortunate, and Montero's trotting out to the mound. Greg Dobbs is the hitter. Brandon McCarthy's been in control from the very start. Remember his last start, his best start, even though he didn't get a decision. 8 scoreless innings, giving up 7 hits. Of course he didn't walk anybody.
Yeah, that was against the Phillies too.
And he struck out 5.
He's gone 6 or more innings now his last 6 starts too, so he's been a model of consistency.
Dobbs a big swing, even back onto his back leg. 1-1. Diamondbacks bullpen has not budged. And Dobbs sawed off, little pop-up, and it's caught by Chavez. So McCarthy, after walking Ozuna, has come back to get 2 outs impressively, a strikeout of Coughlin, and he saws off Dobbs.
You know what's impressive in watching Brandon McCarthy, just when you think that he's not an overpowering type pitcher, he'll get a fastball in on a hitter 92 miles an hour.
And that is a balk. So Ozuna's going to get to second. McCarthy, I don't know if he changed his mind mid-move.
He got kind of caught in between. See if he tried to step off. And he was just going to move over to first, and he changed his mind. He didn't throw.
If you bring that back foot off the rubber first and then spin.
Yeah, but he spun.
Fastball, Polanco takes a strike. Ozuna out in scoring position. To left. That's Ross out there, and he makes the catch. Brandon McCarthy, 7 scoreless innings to the 8th. 1-0 Arizona. A reminder that MLB.TV is celebrating 11 years. Celebrating 11 years of having Tommy Hutton on there on MLB.TV. Watch every out-of-market game live online on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere.
Well, what is it, you and I happy to celebrate 9 years? It's our 9th year together.
That's right. We've only come to fisticuffs on 3 or 4 occasions.
A few times. You usually have a hard time catching me as I turn and run.
Well, McCarthy is up there against Webb to lead it off in the 8th. And Webb misses outside. If you're looking for good pitching, this is certainly a game for you. Tom Kohler, 6 innings, a run on 3 hits. Ryan Webb into his 2nd inning of relief. The man at the plate has put 7 scoreless in the books. Brandon McCarthy had given up just 3 hits in the process, and Webb has gone 3-0 on the starting pitcher. A strike in the American League. You know who's had a nice run? Terry Francona and the Indians. 5-4 win over Seattle, a walk-off win. They're 24-17. 2 lazy hops for Polanco. And he throws out McCarthy. Yankees win again, 7-2. The Yankees are 27-16. And the Blue Jays, who lost that game, 17-26.
Well, it's been a struggle for Toronto. And you're talking about the Indians. We've been getting some nice starts from a guy we saw have his best year, then really tapered off, Ubaldo Jimenez.
Mike Redmond wants Mike Dunn to come in. He's got Parra and Gregorius up next. So Webb gets McCarthy, and Dunn comes in to face some lefties. Card on the Marlins dugout wall. Rob Leary, his bench coach, there as well. Mike Dunn is in. It's the 8th. Arizona hitting with 1 out in the top of the order. Gerardo Parra, Didi Gregorius.
Well, so far Webb and Dunn have been a terrific combo out of the bullpen. We talked about the Ryan Webb numbers. Mike Dunn in 19 2/3 innings, 20 strikeouts. He's been able to minimize the walks, just 7 walks while he's been out there. So that's been the key for him.
Parra's home run, the only run, and that came on the first pitch of the game from Tom Kohler. Four for 8 in the series is Parra. The funny thing about Parra, Tommy, is that the Diamondbacks, with the signing of Kubel last year and having Upton, Parra wasn't an everyday player last year. He made just 90 starts, had 385 at bats. We talked about the injury to Eaton. Parra in right field has been terrific. Kubel has been cold, and thus Parra has been playing every day.
Yeah, and it was left field where he won his Gold Glove. But for him, it really doesn't matter.
Kirk Gibson watching. Gibson has been part of this organization since '07. He started out as Bob Melvin's bench coach, stayed on as bench coach when the Diamondbacks surprisingly hired A.J. Hinch, only to quickly fire him and elevate Gibson. Two-two. Of course, Bob Melvin has gone on to do great things with the Oakland Athletics, manager of the year in the American League last year.
Yeah, the Athletics right now just well, they're 6.5 behind the Rangers, but Oakland just a game under 500, but in second place.
That's a division that obviously it's early as we're headed towards the third week in May. The Angels 12 under, and of course the Astros struggling in the basement. Seattle is a team that is 2 under, actually 3 under. The Mariners lost to Cleveland today 5-4. So Dunn, who comes in to face the lefty, walks the lefty, and now he gets another one in Gregorius. Now you got Gregorius, who's walked twice, Parra, who's stolen 4 bags, and Dunn, the lefty.
Yeah, Parra with a little bit of speed. Last couple of years, he's stolen 15 bases each year.
It's not been a good year percentage-wise for him, though. He's been caught 5 times. Matt Williams, a guy that had he been able to stay healthy, especially in the latter stages of his career, might have ended up in Cooperstown. He's the third base coach. Big swing by Gregorius.
Yeah, Steve Sachs, first base coach over there, who gets in Parra's ear just about every pitch. Sachs a pretty good base stealer in his own right. He had over 400 stolen bases in his career.
He played at a time where the stolen base was valued a little more. Runner goes, good jump. Brantley's throw, wow, on the money, and picked. Echeverria, let's hope he's okay. He says he's okay. Echeverria really picked it on a bullet from Brantley.
Rob Brantley now about 40% in throwing runners out. This was an absolute perfect throw. A little peek by Parra. He knows he's in trouble. He had to pick that ball. First I thought he caught that ball in the air, but that was a great play by Echeverria as well. Look at this. He extends the left leg, picks it, stays right there with the tag, and it was that left leg took a little bit of a shot, but he's okay, thankfully.
So Parra is now 4 of 10 in stolen bases this year. 2-2.
Boy, that's an area that Brantley works on and has certainly improved. trying to negotiate right now, seeing that I have Rob Brantley in our pick to click. If a caught stealing would give me a half point, maybe.
Tommy, as offensively challenged as the Marlins are, I don't think that's going to buy you anything. Count is still 2-2.
Yeah, Brantley now 7 out of 17.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, Gregorius just keeps fighting pitch after pitch off. A 9-pitch at bat so far. Done again. We'll count 3-2. And you can see pitch 10 was out.
If you're a left-hander and you can lay off that breaking ball, you know you're going to see some fastballs from Mike Dunn. The problem is they're really good fastballs.
3-2. Gets a ground ball. Dietrich, outfield grass, sets his feet and makes a strong throw. So Dunn finishes the inning. To the bottom of the 8th, it's still 1-0. One nothing, Arizona on top. Marlins are running out of opportunities here on a night where they trail 1-0. Cliff Floyd's Celebrity Bowling Tournament is tomorrow at Spares in Davie. 305-653-7350. That one pulled foul. Let's throw that up there one more time so we can give the website out as well. Efforting. The little beach ball of death is spinning. Is that what that's called? Yeah, on your iPad when the little beach ball of death comes out.
And when it just spins and spins and spins, I finally just turn my iPad off.
That's why it's death.
And then reboot.
It's reborn. Oh well, a lot of celebrities going to be there. That one's driven to right, and it's deep, and it's down the line, but it's foul. Rob Brantley at the plate. Spares in Davie. CFF30.com. CFF30.com for information, for tickets, and there's the phone number, 305-653-7350. Some of the celebrities that will be attending, Tommy, you have been privy to the guest list. Brantley takes a strike 3 on the outside corner.
Cliff Floyd was kind enough to text me and let me know some guys like, of course, Preston, Rondell White, Gary Sheffield, Edgar Renteria, Luis Castillo, possible guys that'll be there. Shannon Stewart, fine outfielder. So a nice lineup that Cliff Floyd's putting together. Nice event.
Justin Ruggiano against Brandon McCarthy. And McCarthy certainly is a story here tonight for Arizona. A 3-hit shutout going with 1 out in the 8th. Ruggiano pinch hitting in the 9 spot. Steve Cishek.
You saw David Hernandez in the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. Of course, they also have Heath Bell down there, who's saved some games, has 6 saves. They've kind of mixed it up with J.J. Putz on the DL. But right now, it looks like Hernandez is the guy.
Bell actually came to Thursday night's game against the Reds as a fan. He bought a ticket, came in and watched the game. Ruggiano hits a fly ball to right. Parra approaches and makes the catch. So both Diaz and Ruggiano have hit in that 9 spot.
Boy, just 3 singles all night for the Marlins. Ozuna, Coughlin, and Echeverria.
Brandon McCarthy in his career has 6 complete games and 2 shutouts. And he's got a real brief 8th inning. It's a 9-pitch inning. And it's still 1-0. And that's it tonight. Gerardo Parra hit it, and the Diamondbacks lead it. Tomorrow the series concludes. Wade Miley, the lefty, and Ricky Nolasco for the Marlins. 12:30 for Marlins Live.
Wade Miley, Rich, has had a couple of outings against the Marlins, 14 and a third innings. He has not given up an earned run. On the other hand, Ricky's 5-2 in his career against Arizona.
Our poll question, who's your first baseman? AT&T U-verse poll. Right now, Paul Goldschmidt's stock is high. Hey, Joey Votto had what, 4 hits? Votto had 4 hits today. But Goldschmidt right now, a little younger, a little more manageable contract. Here's Steve Cishek out of the pen. Cishek has not had the best of seasons. This is appearance number 17. His ERA in the mid-5s.
Yeah, and we've talked about it a lot. The troubles that Steve Cishek has had this year have been against the lefties. Right-handers are hitting 125 against Cishek, 3 for 24. Lefties hitting 324. So it's pretty cut and dried where he needs his improvement, where he's had his trouble this year.
Comes in to face Goldschmidt, who fouls it off. The count's 0-1. Eric Chavez, Cody Ross for the Diamondbacks, who are trying to reach 25 wins and have a shot to take over first place in the West. The Rockies right now a 3-1 lead over Tim Lincecum and the Giants in the 4th in Colorado. Counts 1-2. Goldschmidt just a mere single tonight after last night's barrage. A pair of 2-run homers, 4 hits. And Cishek with a good fastball, 94 miles an hour, strikes him out.
The thing you look for in Steve Cishek is to get on a nice little roll and get some consistency. And the problem is with the lack of run scoring, with the few wins, he just hasn't had opportunities to get out there and close out games. And then it's like it builds up. Then you get that one opportunity after you haven't won a game in 4 or 5 days. It's a 1-run game, and there's a lot more pressure.
Dietrich, bare hands and throws out Eric Chavez. So Cishek has the first 2 outs here in the 9th inning. And up steps Cody Ross. This homestand for the Marlins quickly rolls into a Phillies series on Monday night. And the Phillies are here for 3. Then the Marlins head off to Chicago. Some programming notes. Friday night's game in Chicago is not on television. Saturday's game is on Big Fox, and that's a 7 o'clock start. We will have Sunday's game, and then it's on to St. Pete, and both of those games will be televised here on Fox Sports Florida, as well as over on Sun Sports with the Rays crew. Ross's ground ball, Polanco cuts it off and throws him out. And Cishek, a 1-2-3-9. Well, the Marlins are running out of outs. Brandon McCarthy tries to finish the deal in the 9th. is on the way after this game with a recap and, of course, a preview of tomorrow's ball game. The recap will include the work of Brandon McCarthy, who's gone 8 scoreless innings. He has scattered 3 singles.
And how about Tom Kohler with his 6 innings, gave up 3 hits and 1 run and lowered his ERA to 2.82.
The Marlins come to the plate, a 24-year-old shortstop, a 23-year-old second baseman, a 22-year-old right fielder. Echeverria, Dietrich, Ozuna. And there is Heath Bell. Breaking ball misses out. Here's the 2-0. McCarthy splits the plate. McCarthy, a guy that doesn't give up many walks.
It's amazing that he's walked 2 tonight.
Echeverria, a single in the 6th, has bounced out twice. And he pops it up. Prado waves off Goldschmidt and makes the catch. And so the Marlins are down to their last 2 outs with Dietrich and Ozuna coming up. As we told you, McCarthy doesn't have a complete game this year. He's got 6 in his career. This is his 108th career start.
So this is back-to-back pretty good starts for Brandon McCarthy. You mentioned his start against the Phillies, 8 innings, 7 hits, no runs.
Dietrich, center field. Pollock makes the catch. 2 outs. And McCarthy just keeps pounding the strike zone. Go ahead, hit it. Try to hit it as far as you want. He's at 98 pitches. It would be something if he gets a complete game at under 100 pitches. Obviously, he's got to do it on this pitch to Ozuna.
It's been done many times, but more rare nowadays.
A liner, and he gets a complete game on 99 pitches. Gregorius makes the catch. Brandon McCarthy, superb tonight. A 3-hit shutout, and Arizona wins it 1-0. The first pitch of the game, that man hit out of the ballpark, Gerardo Parra. And after that, zeros from everybody. It takes 2 hours and 24 minutes to play. 18,786 were here. And Arizona has won the first 2 of the series. Miami has lost 7 in a row.